What's up, guys? Justin Coffin, 330 Sports Show. Today is Thursday, January 8th, 2026. Make sure I get that right. Happy New Year, Joe.
Happy New Year to you.
I think Larry David has a rule from Curb Your Enthusiasm that you're only allowed to say Happy New Year, the first 3 days of the year. But, if you haven't seen somebody since that started, then I think it'll apply for January. Can't say it after January. Anyway, it's gonna be a shorter show, only about 30 minutes.
It's like
cheers.
Church. You have to do your blessed
sacrament.
bourbon.
Yeah. So, amen. So, I mean, I don't really have any agenda on what to talk about today, so I'm gonna let you lead whatever you want to talk about, and then we'll just BS
Joe
about
is
it.
uncomfortable.
Okay.
All right, with this head coach and who we end up with.
Sure.
When a Harbaugh's in the mix and a McDaniel's in a mix, I get extremely uncomfortable.
McDaniel just became in the mix.
Right. And as BJ alluded to, he's probably the favorite to take the head coach.
Can I tell you my theory real quick?
Let's do it.
So I think Mike McDaniel is still the head coach of the Miami Dolphins if John Harbaugh is not fired. I think once John Harbaugh was fired, Miami was that mysterious team that contacted him. Stephen Ross is the owner, I believe, of Miami, multi-billionaire, and has ties to Michigan, where another Harbaugh used to work.
The stupider Harbaugh.
Yeah, the dumber Harbaugh, the one Harbaugh we don't like. But we all know John Harbaugh was a Browns fan growing up. I think it's a nice thought that he would come to Cleveland. I think it would be in maybe his top 3, but I think he's going to end up in Miami. That's my theory. What about you? What do you think?
Well, until today's news about the mic came available, I thought John was a pretty good shoe-in in Cleveland. I think it AFC North, rivals, stick it to him. I think we had the advantage there.
Yes, I agree.
Now this happens, I think Mike's our coach next year.
I think Mike McDaniel might be the coach too. And he's got that kind of cool, swaggy personality. He was, I don't know if he was the quarterback coach or OC. I think Kyle Shanahan and him. I mean, look at all these great NFL coaches that have gone through Cleveland. But he was
wide
there.
Receiver coach?
Maybe wide receiver. Yeah. And I know he was there when Johnny Manziel was there. So it was like 2014, 2015 ish. So he's been there in Cleveland for some bad times too, as we all have been.
What do you think about Jim Schwartz taking head coach position?
I think it'd be fine too. If Mike McDaniel is the only thing I think about Jim Schwartz taking over is you're taking away his best attribute is coaching the defense. Now you got to be the CEO kind of guy, oversee everything else. So I think if he's willing to stay on as DC and Mike McDaniel can come on as, play caller / head coach, I think that would be the best case scenario. I like Brian Flores from the Vikings too, former coach of the Dolphins from way back when. But I don't know. I think those are some of the guys that are, I think Don Shula's grandson coaches the Chargers defense, or not Chargers, the Rams defense. I think he would be a good, interesting candidate, but I don't know. Do you think the next head coach, here's a question. So it's 2026. So the Browns will play the 2026 season, 2027 season, 2028 season in the current stadium. They open so 3 more years in the current stadium. Will the next head coach they hire be the head coach for when they open the dome?
Man, continuity
so 4
is
years.
Super important to me, whoever they land on can't be a high beta, high risk. Yeah. It's got to be someone solid, consistent. That's a 10-year coach, not a 2-year.
I mean, that would be ideal. Yeah. That would be ideal. Just me thinking, and maybe it's setting the bar so low as a Cleveland Browns fan that I almost feel like unless it's Jim Harbaugh or some sort of big name, John Harbaugh, John Harbaugh. Unless it's John Harbaugh or some sort of big name, I think the next guy could be a bridge coach because you're still looking at a quarterback rebuild. Who is it going to be? Are they going to let Shador have the reins next year and try to build the offensive line, try to build the wide receiving core, try to get this roster back to where it needs to be after all the Deshaun stuff. I don't know. Like, the Browns have so many assets right now, but they have so many holes on the roster to fill. It's incredible.
Okay, you got a new stadium incoming.
Yep.
You have 117 picks in the next draft.
Yes.
That could give an advantage.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to rebuild an entire offense and like a defense is solid, I wouldn't do much there. Special teams sucks ass, and I think needs a bunch of work. But you put a couple receivers in there,
couple of linemen too. Well, maybe the worst offensive line in football.
You're a prospective head coach. Is that a value to you that would make you decide on a Cleveland rather than a Baltimore?
Well, I think Baltimore is a ready-made situation to win. So a coach, I would say would have to put Baltimore at the top of the list. You got a 2-time MVP, Lamar Jackson. You have Derrick Henry, who might be on his last couple of seasons, but you got a decent defense, a really good team, a team that, if a field goal doesn't get miraculously blown by the Pittsburgh wind, that, the Baltimore's in the playoffs and not the Steelers. That's also another person that might become available. What if Houston beats Pittsburgh? Does Mike Tomlin become available?
Dude, but no, please don't.
To go back to the initial,
this is like nightmares revealed.
Well, it's like, how weird would it be if Stefanski's gone, John Harbaugh's gone, and Mike Tomlin's gone, but the maybe the worst coach of the four, Zach Taylor, is still in Cincinnati. So I don't know.
Son of a bitch.
But to go back to the initial point, I think Baltimore is a ready-made situation. Like, yeah, they have holes and issues, sure, but you have a proven winning quarterback. You have a good culture in place. I don't know what the answer is.
We don't know who it's going to be, but do you have a hope for who it's not going to be? Who are you rooting against the most?
That's a good somebody I've never heard of.
Okay, no name.
They're interviewing, I believe, the Seattle defensive coordinator who doesn't call plays because their head coach is a defensive coordinator, and the Cincinnati offensive coordinator who doesn't call plays because the head coach calls the plays. So I would root against those guys because they're not proven commodities. You might as well hire Tommy Rees. I don't want him. I think he's too young. I think he's 33. I think he needs to take his lumps, earn his way up the beanstalk or whatever you want to say, up the ladder of the NFL. So
can you try to help me make sense of one thing though?
Yeah.
AB has his job. Why?
So BJ and I talked about this earlier in the week, and I had a whole host of reasons why he should not have a job. Deshaun Watson, the trade.
Worst trade historically.
Do you think now Kevin Stefanski is a scapegoat for that trade? Because think of all the talent that was on that roster, and then you supplement that with 3 or 4 more draft picks. You give Baker, I'm not saying Baker's the end all be all and was like the franchise quarterback, but he was a top 15 quarterback in the league, which if you have Nick Chubb in his prime, you have Njoku, and then Amari Cooper, but maybe supplement another first-round wide receiver, another first-round offensive tackle. Yeah, exactly. So if you have all that talent and you supplement him with those picks that you would have had, so I don't know. But I think Kevin Stefanski was a scapegoat.
Agreed.
A little bit. I do think it was time for a change in the sense of sometimes the veteran guys get a little sick and tired of hearing the same voice over and over. And Stefanski's not a rah-rah guy, at least from what we saw on tape. But I think he was a very good coach. I think he's one of the best coaches out there available. But it was a bad situation. It was kind of wrong place, wrong time for him. And you could see what he could do with the talent. He 2-time coach of the year. But Andrew Berry also, going back to your point, how does he have a job? I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. I think him and Haslam have some sort of agreement. Maybe he's got some pictures or information on him, some Epstein file stuff. Yeah. So I don't know. It just seemed like a.
Well, if you have a couple of veterans that are nearing the end of their contract and you need them to stay, some kind of change needs to happen.
Yeah.
And I can't see like an AB dismissal versus a Kevin Stefanski dismissal is enough to say there's enough change happening to stick around.
Yeah, I think it should have been a package deal. If you got rid of one, you should have got 100%. Rid of the other. Like it's, Stefanski can only coach up the guys so well on the field,
You think he'll land somewhere?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think he's going to be in one of three places. New York with the Giants. I think the perfect situation for him is with the Tennessee Titans. You got a rookie quarterback there. You have a, not a crazy fan base there in Tennessee, but I think you have a pretty good situation there. Or Atlanta. I think one of those three. If I had to put money on it, I would say Stefanski will land on one of those three. Tennessee would probably be my favorite, but he is from like Philadelphia, New Jersey. And I believe he has like some sort of beach house or lake house in New Jersey, which is where the Giants play. So
there you go.
That would be, I would say Tennessee 1, New York Giants 2. If I had to guess. So.
Give me your end of season Shedeur Sanders review.
Incomplete. Much like many of his passes. I will say Shedeur did a good job of showing signs of flashes. Like there were that pass he made against the Raiders, that rollout, the 55-yard down to the 1-yard line, leading the game-winning field goal drive against Cincinnati. I mean, he beat the Steelers. Might not have been great, but he still won. The game against Tennessee when he had the huge numbers, they lost, but he had 3 wins as a starter in 7 games, 3 and 4 as a Browns quarterback is pretty damn good. So I would say incomplete from the sense of like, I would like to see what Shedeur Sanders is with a capable offensive line, with Quinshon Judkins back at running back, with wide receivers that can actually run routes and catch the damn ball. I mean, Jerry Jeudy should be a really good wide receiver, but he's not. He stunk. Your leading receiver was Harold Fannin, who was a great rookie.
Tillman.
Tillman. That guy can't even stay on the field. Like, I mean, I don't know what Tillman's numbers were, but I bet he didn't have 20 catches this year. Probably caught more colds this year than footballs. So I don't know. Like, incomplete is my best answer because I think Shedeur gives me a tiny bit of hope that he could be the guy, but he's a little loose with the football. He's not the fastest processor. He's a turnover prone guy. But if you give him protection, if you give him good weapons,
he's accurate.
He's very accurate. And he's not afraid to scramble and put himself on the line a little bit. So I would say I would love to see Shedeur. To not back out of that question completely, I'll give him a C because I think he did enough to be the starter going into 2026, unless you get a proven veteran or you draft a guy in the first round, which I don't think they're going to do now.
All right. You got the scepter. You got Watson. Is he doing anything?
I hope not.
Dylan Gabriel.
I think he's a fine backup. I don't want him as a starter. No. Like, I mean, practice squad. Shedeur, I think, has to be your starter going forward unless you get like Mac Jones or I don't even know what other veteran guys are out there. But like you look at the quarterbacks that have been rehabbed over the last couple of years, Sam Darnold, Baker. I mean,
Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers is older than me and comes in and starts the last 4 games of the season for the Giants. But like Daniel Jones up until then was really good. I mean, Jameis Winston, like guys
Andrew
like that.
Luck isn't doing anything.
Yeah, Andrew Luck's available, I hear, and he's younger than Phillip Rivers.
So you get the scepter. You're going to draft at least one quarterback, even if it's not first round.
See, I don't know. I'm not drafting a quarterback at all unless for some reason you can get Mendoza or more from. I can't say 0, but I'd say 2% chance.
6th round, no way.
Like maybe you take a flyer on a guy late, but it's like, do you want 2 second-year guys that have hardly played and another rookie? There's not enough snaps for those guys. No. And you saw when they had Pickett Flacco, Gabriel, and Sanders. And like, it showed that those guys didn't get enough snaps in the preseason. I think you got to go in with one veteran guy, and then you're probably either trying to offload Dylan Gabriel or offload Shador, and then bring. If you offload one of those two guys, I can see maybe going to get a quarterback as a flyer.
I hope that doesn't happen.
I hope it doesn't either. Like,
beginning of the year, Shador Sanders plays at least the first couple games to really see, when you put a package around him and a line in front of him, what he can actually do.
So I will say, at this time next year, if Shador Sanders shows enough that he could be a capable starting quarterback, let's say a top 15 type guy, top 20 type guy in the NFL, you build the roster around him. You get your wide receivers, you get your O linemen, probably got to draft a running back or a tight end, maybe supplement a piece or two on the defense, but you build your team around around Shador Sanders. If he shows he's not the guy, then you have to go all in next year on a quarterback, which might be, Jimmy Haslam's love for Arch Manning, or maybe it's Julian Sayin from Ohio State. Who knows who it could be. I have heard an NFL guy, I think it was Todd McShay, I can't remember exactly who, said if Arch Manning was in this draft, he would still go number one. That's how much people think of him and his upside, but he hasn't started enough. He hasn't played enough. But you could see that last game against Michigan, he played great. That last game against Texas A&M, he played great. But, there's going to be bumps in the roads with any of these guys that haven't played a whole lot of football.
Coach Sanders.
No. Out. Nope. Not even entertaining it. Nope.
I saw him in a jersey. Like, he looks.
Yeah. The AI depictions of
sure.
Dion in a Browns hat. Hey, let him come in and watch Shador play in his cowboy hat up in a loge. He can be the Colorado coach, but no. He's no.
All right. So what contracts are expiring in 2026?
So you're gonna lose Jack Conklin, hopefully.
You're so
Wyatt Teller's gone.
Okay.
And Stefanski and him, obviously there was something going on where he was benched, but apparently healthy enough to play. His wife is big on tweeting things out on social media. Wasn't happy about that. I think she said something like, you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes, something like that. So there's some not just passive aggressive talk, some aggressive
animosity.
Talk. Yeah, animosity there. So you're basically, and don't forget about Bitonio. He's probably going to retire. So you're losing your three interior guys. DeJuan Jones is not a proven guy. He can't stay healthy. Who else are you losing? Devin Bush. That has to be a guy they try to re-sign. And that is, I will advocate for a former Pittsburgh Steeler and Michigan player, because how good was Devin Bush this year? You always have a affinity for the linebacking core.
Sure.
JOK was awesome, but it's like, will he ever play again? I don't know. Carson Schlesinger he's going to be the defensive rookie of the year. He was so freaking good. What
the heck kept him off the field?
Well, he has a neck injury, and which could be debilitating, like in his life going forward. But I mean, Carson Schlesinger, if JOK comes back, that would help a loss of Devin Bush. But I know Devin Bush wants to come back to the Browns, but we will see if he does or not.
I want to see Schlesinger and JOK on the field at the same time to see what that would look like.
That would be unbelievable. Two fast sideline to sideline guys that get after it. And I think those would be fascinating, because JOK is an off the ball linebacker. Schlesinger is a middle linebacker. And then you have Devin Bush. If you're in a 4-3 personnel, that would be phenomenal. And I believe it's Tarver is the linebacker coach for the Browns. He might be a commodity on the coaching market as a defensive coordinator or something like that. So as far as other guys coming off the books, I'm really not sure. So we'll take a look at that right now. But I don't know. I wish Deshaun Watson was off the books so bad.
He'll be on there for a while.
And here's a question for you. Do the Browns, do they entertain the thought of playing Deshaun Watson. I mean, you have so much money invested in him. And it's kind of like another, I hate to say wasted year next year, but it's like next year's another building year. I think you're in a 3-year window, which next year hopefully is the final year of that like rebuild. But I don't know. I don't know what the answer is with them. I think Jerome Ford's probably gone. But any of those guys on the defensive line that are, if they're possible free agents, you got to bring them back. The defense was outstanding. And I love the trade that they made. Greg Newsome, they trade him to Jacksonville. You bring in Tyson Campbell, and he was immediately better than Greg Newsome. And you signed him to a team-friendly deal. He's under contract for the next 3 years. That's a great pickup for the Browns. So
what were we missing on special teams all year long?
So special teams with the Browns was actually the kicking game was not bad. The return, I do not think Bubba Ventrone should have a job personally. I think special teams as a whole was bad, but you got to give it to Andre Schmidt. Started off the year missing a kick against Cincinnati, missed an extra point and a field goal that would have won the game. And then comes back. He wins the game against the Packers, if I'm not mistaken, a couple weeks later. Wins the game against the Bengals. Made some huge kicks this year. Even the 2 extra points he had to make against the Bengals were like 50-yarders because the penalties. But that guy has been a proven kicker now. Like, you go into next season, you got Bojorquez, who's really good. But besides that, like, get rid of Bubba Ventrone. He stinks. Like, I'm sure he's a great guy, but nothing personal. But get him out of here. I'm sure Stefanski will take him with him too. So,
all right.
Special teams. I'm okay with the personnel. I just I think it needs a different voice in that room.
Okay.
So,
can we talk Ohio State real quick?
Please.
Your feelings on Ryan Day's future there? And
Ryan Day's fine. He's 82-12.
I know. All right. Explain explain Miami to me.
So, Ohio State, were they the better team? Yes. Were they the better team that night? No. You gotta, where we give credit, you gotta give criticism too. Jeremiah Smith had an awesome game last Wednesday night in the whatever game they played in Cotton Bowl. They had an awesome game, but he missed a block that led to that pick six. If he makes that block, that pick six doesn't happen. Yep. Ohio State probably either scores a field goal or a touchdown. The game's 7-3 or 7-7 instead of 14-0. Huge swing in that game. Offensive line got dominated. So
outcoached.
That was but there were several plays. They had a wide open touchdown to Max Clare. They had a wide open touchdown to Carnell Tate in that game. And they just missed it because the offensive line couldn't hold up to give Julian Sayin enough time to make those plays. So Ryan Day, I think, is still one of the best 3 coaches in football. I think it's Kirby Smart. I think it's Ryan Day. I think it's Kurt Cignetti. And, there's a handful of other guys. Marcus Freeman's really good. Dan Lanning at Oregon is really good. But I think it was just a bad night. And, I've heard people say, is one of the defensive linemen, Caden Curry, I think, said, we win that game 9 times out of 10. I hate that saying because they only had to win the one time. Miami, it only takes the one time. But I think he's right in the sense of Ohio State's the better team. If you do play that game 10 times, they do probably win 8 of those 10 times. Right. But it was a bad matchup. Their defensive line, those 2 guys are probably going to go in the first round. Their offensive line, they were better on both sides of the football on the offensive and defensive line, and that's to their credit. I more give Miami credit than disparage Ohio State in that.
I felt better about the Indiana loss than the Miami loss.
I agree. And Indiana, we'll see what they do, but they very well could be the national champions. They're going to play Oregon. So it's going to be Oregon or Indiana that's playing for a national title versus Miami or Ole Miss, which is wild. Crazy. So wild. If you told me, if you said 3 years ago, Indiana was the losingest program in all of college football history. They've only lost 2 games in the past 2 years, and it was to both teams that played in the national championship last year, Ohio State and Notre Dame. Unbelievable what he's done. So give him credit. But as far as Ryan Day, I mean, you're coming off a national title. You went 12-0 in the regular season. You beat Michigan. Yeah, you lost your last 2 games, but against the number 1 team in the country and a team that very well might play for the national championship. It's hard to repeat. Georgia did it a few years back, but besides that, I think it hadn't been done since Miami in 2000 and 2001. So I don't know. It's Ohio State and its fans, for good and for bad, have the highest standards maybe in all of football. That's NFL, that's college, of expectations. Ohio State has not lost more than 2 games since 2011.
It's beautiful.
Like, I have a number here. Let me see if I have it. Since 2012, Ohio State is 165-21, which is 88.7% win percentage. Damn. So it's like, what other program? Alabama might have a couple more titles. Georgia, I think, has the same amount in that span. But what other program is better than Ohio State at being consistently at the top of college football? No one. And, it stinks they lost. The portal and NIL is a whole other insane thing that's going on right now. But Ohio State, I think, has it just as good, if not better, than just about anybody else.
So Tate to the Browns?
I wouldn't hate it. I would almost prefer like an offensive lineman first, as weird as that sounds. But if they draft Carnell Tate with a 6th pick overall, or trade back and get like another draft pick and take him at like 8 or something, I would be totally fine with that. But if they take Carnell Tate and then an offensive lineman with that Jaguars pick that they have, I wouldn't hate it. Okay. I'll take it.
Jack Sawyer in the mix.
Jack Sawyer's a freaking Pittsburgh Steeler.
Oh shit, I'm a year behind.
Caleb Downs would be the other guy for Ohio State.
There you go.
Would love Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs is going to be like the first safety in about 10 years to go in the top 10, and he is an unbelievable player. And Ohio State's going to have Carnell Tate, Arvell Reese. Arvell Reese might be the first non-quarterback drafted in this draft. They will have at least Caleb Downs and one other go, and probably the defensive tackle who his name is Caden McDonald. So they're going to have at least 4 first rounders again this year. And just remember, last year they lost, I think they had 14 guys picked in the NFL draft. So you lose 14 guys off of that team last year. Coming to this year, you're 12-0. You're the number 1 team in the country. Yeah, you lose your final 2 games, both very tight games, but it is what it is. You can't win them all. And as an Ohio State fan, we expect to win them all, and that's why the standard is so high. So
we're a little bit spoiled in that respect.
A little bit spoiled is an understatement with that. What would you want the Browns to do in the first round with the 2 picks? Give me a position or a play.
Oh man, like none of my picks that I want are a first round. You should spare. Yeah. I would go wide receiver. I would go Carnell Tate.
And honestly, I don't think they can go wrong if they take the best player, whether that's an offensive tackle or a wide receiver, with one of those first 2 picks. I don't think they can go wrong. And I think if they take a wide receiver first, I think you take a tackle second. Or if you take a tackle first, you take a wide receiver second. That would be my strategy. But again, I'm not as smart as Andrew Berry, and that's why I am not employed by the Browns.
I really, we did the experiment of having a majority of rookies on our starting roster. Yeah. I would really like to bring some free agents in there that have some history. I agree on that offensive line.
Yep.
I don't want to take a gamble anymore. We are way beyond maybe taking a gamble on a running back or a quarterback or a wide receiver, safety, whatever.
Yeah.
But you got to stack this offensive line.
They have to build the lineup, and they have to get weapons to throw
for sure
the ball to, whether it's Shedeur Sanders or somebody else. So yeah.
Where's Pete Carroll, by the way?
He just got canned by the Raiders. He's gone.
He's available.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's like 78. You want Joe Biden
no,
or Donald Trump coaching your football team?
I'm just curious. That's all.
I no geriatric coaches. Like Kurt Cignetti, I think 64. That would be like the oldest. I would not hire a coach over 60 years old.
Okay.
I just wouldn't. Like to stay up to date with the game, energy, whatever it might be. But I think you got to hire a proven guy that's maybe a little bit on the younger side. That would be
John Gruden.
Yeah, I would be interested in how old John Gruden is. I bet he's early 60s. I don't want to date him here, but he's either late 50s or early 60s if I had to guess. Let's see. 61. All right, so he's 61 years old. He qualifies. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'd be fine. Or 62 now. I would be fine if John Gruden was the head coach, because why not? Who cares? I think next year we're gonna suck too. But like I think the Browns will be better next year. But I think
what's a win? A 500 season?
I don't know, because you want that. I would say a win would be to show improvement. Yeah, maybe a few wins, but somehow accumulate enough assets to go get your future quarterback if Shedeur Sanders is not it. That's a win.
Bring back Flacco.
Flacco, I think, might be at the glue factory next year. So we'll see. Any final thoughts? Because I know you and I both got shit to do. So maybe head up to Berea.
I thought you would know things that I didn't know, and you would say, "No, Joe, it's going to be just fine. We're gonna get that offensive line."
Can I tell you what I think the Browns are building to 2029. I think they're like, this old stadium is a piece of shit. We haven't won in it. We haven't hosted a playoff game in it. We're probably not going to. So you know what? Let's suck for 2 more years, get ready for the new stadium, and then be ready to go.
Listen, you want a PSL in the new stadium, $20,000 for a team that wins 5 games
All right, so
per year.
A new theory.
Yeah.
They're good by 2028 to get you excited for 2029 when the new stadium opens. So they're good by 2028. Maybe that last year we can host a freaking playoff game. I think that might be the first stadium in the history of football that'll have never hosted a playoff game in its run. If they don't, so
you're bumming me out, man. I thought you were gonna have better news.
All right, who wins tonight? Ole Miss or Miami?
Miami.
I agree. Who wins tomorrow? Indiana or Oregon?
Indiana.
I agree. Rams at Panthers. Who you got?
Rams.
49ers. I as well. 49ers at Eagles.
Coin flip. I don't care.
Okay, I'm gonna go Eagles. Green Bay at Chicago.
Chicago.
I agree. Houston at Pittsburgh.
Fuck. I don't want to say the name.
Oh, you're gonna go Steelers. Yeah. Give me Houston and CJ Stroud. Buffalo at Jacksonville.
Buffalo.
Agreed. Chargers at New England.
Ooh, New England.
Me too. Okay. All right. I want to next week. We're come back in studio. I want to do like best TV shows of 2025. I'm finishing up a few things, but we'll talk a little bit more football, a little bit more stuff. Maybe the Browns will have a head coach by then. Who knows? So we'll talk more then. All right. Joe Danyi, Justin Coffin. Happy New Year, everybody. Last time I'm going to say that the rest of the year. Have a great day. Make sure to follow Youngstown Studio, 330 Sports Show. Love you guys. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to this show on Youngstown Studio. This is original Youngstown content. Feel free to share our videos and tell your friends about us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow